A child has been medically kidnapped in America, in fact, in Montana of all places. The parents put out a video. This is a cry for help. Take a listen to this.
My name is Todd Kolstad. I'm a father, husband, and business owner. I was born in Glasgow, Montana, and have lived in Montana much of my life. I have 5 children from a previous marriage. One was over 18, one chose to live with his birth mother in Canada, and I had custody of the other 3. I'm also a United States Air Force veteran, having served during the Gulf War with the 12th Tactical Fighter Squadron based in Okinawa, Japan. Our hope by releasing this statement is to help other families avoid the heartache and pain that our family has endured over the last 5 months. Our 14-year-old daughter has struggled for quite some time in school from bullying. We have had many meetings over the years with the school systems trying to address these issues. We even moved from Flathead County in West Montana to a much smaller town in Valley County in East Montana, hoping that this will give our daughter a fresh start in a new school system and new environment. On August 18th, 2023, we received a call at 1:48 from our local city police. We were informed that our 14-year-old daughter was texting a friend that she had met at a school track meet, saying she wanted to kill herself. It should be noted our daughter had only met this child once face-to-face several months prior and had only phone conversations with her ever since. We took this threat seriously and spoke to our daughter. However, we knew she was struggling with anxiety since school was about to start on Monday. She was also very angry with us because we told her she needed to put her 2-week notice in at her summer job so she could focus on starting the 9th grade. At 7:40 p.m., a lady by the name of Cindy from Child Protective Services showed up at our home, saying that the police officer that called earlier said he could not lay eyes on the child or make contact with her directly, even though this officer never asked to come to our home or speak to our daughter. We allowed Cindy into our home, showing her around. My wife was making dinner as we had a late lunch. It's noted in the CPS report that our home was clean, well stocked with food, and with no immediate dangers. Cindy stated she wanted to speak to our daughter alone. We allowed this given we knew our daughter was safe, but we also know our daughter has had issues with telling lies for quite some time, and as such, we made Cindy aware of that concern. We allowed them to speak on the porch, also calling a family friend to come to our house as a third-party witness. After about 10 minutes, my wife and I went outside to be told our daughter had drank toilet bowl cleaner at about 3 p.m. and had also taken an ibuprofen overdose in an attempt to take her life. We could not believe this, as my wife had been working in the kitchen in her makeshift office all day where pills and cleaning agents were kept. Neither of us saw our daughter go in there, but out of concern for her safety, we agreed she needed to go to the hospital. She also did not have any signs of ingesting any harsh chemicals, such as a burnt mouth, burnt esophagus, or an upset stomach. We later found out she did not have any ibuprofen or any other chemicals in her system from a blood test taken at the hospital that night. Once at the hospital, our daughter began demanding that she be called Leo, he, and him. We explained that this is in her history, but not something we would agree to as her parents. The hospital staff ignored our request, as did Child Protective Services. Our daughter was admitted to the hospital for observations. My wife was mostly at the hospital over the next 5 days, and here are some of the events that transpired.
My name is Krista Kolstad, and I have been in my daughter's life since she was about 7 years old when I married Todd in 2017. She's Todd's youngest child and has always resided with us as a family. Over the years, I've built a loving, supporting relationship with our daughter. She's always referred to me as Mom, even though she's not my biological child. I've always loved her, supported her, and made sacrifices for her. The following is a list of events that happened at the hospital, causing us to voice our concern to hospital management and staff, as well as Cindy from CPS. The hospital continued to call our daughter Leo, even though she's a minor, and after I stated it's against our wishes, our religion, and our core family values. The hospital told me to call their lawyer if I have an issue, as they will do what the patient tells them. I said to them, according to State Bill 99, they may not, under the law, provide transgender care nor transition our child. Their response was, they are not providing surgery or hormones, so they're operating in the gray area of the law. I further explained that my understanding of the law was a minor is a minor, and there's no difference between a 4-year-old or a 14-year-old, and we prefer she be called by her birth name. The hospital put our daughter on a 24-hour supervision because this was a suicide threat. The hospital placed an aide outside her door who began talking about having top surgery and how she identified as non-binary. I objected and reported as inappropriate to the doctor on duty. At that point, I was told, why are you not more concerned that your daughter is trying to harm herself than what the aide is talking about? We had never been in a situation like this before and continued to remind everyone that we wanted what was best for our daughter and only wanted her mental health needs met. The following incidents also happened at the hospital that I told both Cindy and the doctor on duty I was very unhappy about. An RN rolled her eyes and referred to me as just the stepmom. Then, when I asked the nurse to call our daughter by her given name, she sighed loudly and rolled her eyes again. When lunch came, I suggested to our daughter she eat something healthy on her tray. The RN looked at me and yelled on the hallway, "Get this young man a banana split dessert." As time went on, many of the CNAs began to refer to me as just the stepmom and continued to roll their eyes at me whenever I spoke or asked any questions regarding my child's care. A pregnant aide sat watch for our daughter several times, and each time she told me I should be more respectful of her wishes to be referred to as a male and be called Leo. We felt this was undermining her parental rights as she said this in front of our child each time. On Sunday, August 20th, when I arrived at the hospital, the vice president of the hospital was stationed outside of our daughter's room. I later found out he was the vice president of human resources, not the entire hospital. When I expressed concern that our daughter was being given everything she wants and that they are reinforcing her bad behavior, example, there was no school, meals were cooked whenever she wanted, whatever she wanted to order, there was no bedtime, and she was allowed to watch all the TV she wanted, the doctor on duty again told me I need to be more concerned about my daughter trying to hurt herself and not what she's eating or watching on TV. When I asked that all the staff only call our daughter by her birth name and please not to use any nicknames, the hospital staff continued to roll their eyes at me and tell me I needed to respect our daughter's wishes. Again, this was undermining our parental authority in front of my daughter. When I said anything someone did not like or disagreed with, I was told, why are you not more concerned about your daughter's mental health? Our daughter was allowed to make phone calls to friends, including the young lady she told she was going to kill herself to. When I expressed my concerns that she's a minor and that her father and I need to be asked if she can call anyone except family, I was told, we'll do what makes our patient comfortable. I had very open communication with the hospital as well as Cindy from CPS. My husband and I let them know we agreed our daughter needed to go to an inpatient facility and counseling. We were told there may be a facility in Wyoming. I explained we had concerns with Wyoming, and it was our understanding that Wyoming has no laws against minors being given hormones or surgery without parental consent. We stated this as soon as Wyoming was brought up in our daughter's hospital room on August 19th. We had looked online on our phones to see what laws were in Wyoming regarding transgender care. Cindy from CPS said to us, well, I'm sure we will find a Montana facility, so this isn't an issue, and we can talk more about Wyoming if we have to cross that bridge. Cindy and the on-duty doctor agreed we would try to find a Montana facility. We expressed we preferred Billings as we currently go there often for medical care, but we were open to any of the 6 Montana facilities that treat children. On the night of August 22nd, 2023, we received a phone call from the hospital saying a bed had opened up in Wyoming and our daughter needed to go. We were confused because early in the day we were told she was next in line for a bed in Billings. My husband and I were not told the name of the facility, only that we had to accept the bed. We stated we had some concerns regarding Wyoming state laws and how they were different than Montana state laws, and further questions we needed answered before agreeing to Wyoming. Within 15 minutes, Cindy from CPS showed up at our house with the police, serving us with papers removing our daughter from our care, stating we were refusing treatment. This is untrue. We simply asked that she stay in the state of Montana and wanted our questions answered by anyone in the system before agreeing to move her to Wyoming. We were told we were not allowed to see or speak to our daughter at that time. Child Protective Services could have avoided this incident by simply communicating with us regarding the out-of-state procedures for a minor going to a care facility. The reason stated for her removal was parents are unable or refusing to provide medical care. I met with Child Protective Services on Friday, August 25th in their office and provided 6 years worth of medical records and insurance information, proving their reason is an untrue statement. On Wednesday, August 23rd, our daughter was transported out of state by a CPS worker to the Wyoming facility. Court dates were set into motion and we were assigned public defenders at that time. She was allowed to text her sister, but also call people who were not part of her family from the staff person's cell phone. She was also allowed to stop at her summer job and speak to her friends, stating she was being taken away to Wyoming because she was crazy and was trying to kill herself. This was a huge lapse in judgment on CPS and a miscarriage of law to our daughter, who is only 14 years old. What if, when she's older, this incident is behind her and she's in a good place mentally? This is a very small town that we live in, and we may have just branded her as the child who went crazy and tried to kill herself. Also concerning is that her mental state had deteriorated to the point of her needing inpatient care, but yet she was allowed to go in public and visit with her friends. While at our local hospital, our daughter was not given surgery or hormones, but she was allowed to have men's products against our wishes, was allowed to make calls sharing her health information, and be called names other than her birth name. By placing an aide outside her door who kept talking about top surgery and being non-binary, and by other aides belittling us as her parents, the hospital care staff contributed to the further decline in our daughter's mental health and caused the breakdown of our family unit. Our daughter spent about a month in Wyoming at an inpatient facility. On Monday, September 25th, she was transferred to a group home in Billings, Montana for further medical care until she's mentally stable. Since August, we have been in a legal custody battle with Child Protective Services. Our public defenders have advised us to just play nice and go along with Child Protective Services recommendations and allow our daughters to remain in the group home setting without causing any fights. We have followed their advice for the last few months, and now our rights are being completely stripped away, as on this Friday, January 19th, we are set to lose custody of our daughter because allowing her to be transgender is in her therapeutic interest, and we are not following recommended therapy. We have endured false accusations from Child Protective Services that my husband is an alcoholic who drinks daily, that I am verbally abusive to our daughter. It should be noted that none of these incidents have been proven. We have no criminal records, nor were there any witnesses who have seen us fighting, being drunks, or being abusive in any way to the 3 children that we have had in our parental care. We have provided character witness letters as well as statements from an employee who had lived in our home last summer who have never seen or witnessed any of this adverse behavior.
Since our daughter has been in the group home setting, we have had numerous meetings regarding our wishes for her not to be referred to as a boy. Our wishes are for the program to be therapy-based and allow our family unit to continue to have the right to parent our daughter as we see fit to maintain her care. Our daughter is only referred to there as Leo, he, and him. She has been allowed to shave her head, wears only men's clothes, wears a chest binder, and uses men's hygiene products. She attends a therapeutic school program and is in all boy groups. She has been allowed to attend a church that no one will name. She has had numerous doctor appointments for birth control therapy. So she no longer has a menstrual cycle. One of her daily goals set by the group home therapist is, I will accept and embrace my chosen gender 80% of the time. This is transgendering our child against our wishes. Our rights have been so stripped and limited that we're not even allowed to know what dentist she recently saw. She was given some flu shots without our consent. Child Protective Services continues to say, oh, so sorry, it was an oversight, you were not told. When we ask questions, we're labeled as difficult to work with, when all we want to know is what medical treatment is being provided and by what doctors, what medication she's being given, as well as weekly updates, daily if there's an issue. On December 4th, 2023, we had a court date. The judge told us we could look for another placement for our daughter that was more in line with our religious beliefs and our core values. This is an impossible task, as there's no programs that take private insurance, so our choices have been to remortgage our home to pay for a program or accept that she must stay where she is. I love my daughter. She's my youngest. I love her unconditionally and only want her to refrain from making any decisions until she has the maturity and life experiences to understand what the consequences are for her actions. We have asked that treatment explore why someone would dislike themselves so much that they would want to change their entire being. Why are we not looking at the past trauma and losses that this young lady has seen in her life?
Todd and I love our daughter beyond words. We are not naive and understand that we have an adolescent girl who has struggled with mental health issues most of her life on our hands. The system has not helped our daughter. Instead, the system has taught her how to weaponize the system itself to receive what she wants. We do not believe the system has tried to treat her mental health issues, instead has forcefully focused on the transgender component and on forcing us into doing things against our family values, religious beliefs, and core moral beliefs. Much damage has already been done to our family. How many families will the system destroy? Is the state of Montana willing to open the door and take every troubled child who is angry with their parents, placing them in group home settings, and violating their rights as caregivers, providers, parents, and morally diminishing and destroying our family units? Our next court date is Friday, January 19th, at which time the court has already decided to remove our parental rights and transfer our daughter to her birth mom, who has been an absent parent for the past 7 years and resides in the country of Canada. This is a medical kidnapping, and this needs to stop. We currently only have a public defender whose advice has been to play nice. We are running out of time, and we live in a small town with a population of about 3,100 people. If there is any attorney willing to fight for us pro bono, please contact us via email. Thank you for taking a few minutes to listen to our family's shattering story. We sincerely hope that this brings awareness to the destructive transitioning issue and keeps another family from being destroyed. Our hope is that our daughter, who we love very much, does not become a statistic or just another victim of the existing care system. You can reach us at our email, which is KristaandToddKolstad@gmail.com. KristaandToddKolstad@gmail.com. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well, what an amazingly sad turn of events. You would think that this is in some communist country, but this is in the United States of America where this is happening. This is a warning to all parents. You have to be very, very vigilant. You have to make sure that you understand you are the one that is in charge of the upbringing of your children. Make sure that you do everything you can to keep them safe. I would say right now, the public school system is not a safe place. Do everything you can to homeschool your kids, and also be very vigilant to monitor what they are seeing in social media and entertainment venues, stuff like that. It is very important that you make sure that what goes into the eyes and the ears of your children is safe. So take good care of your children. God bless you. We'll see you next time right here on Our Watch with Tim Thompson.